Good day, everybody. Everybody's doing awesome today. Appreciate those who watch this video. I hope you enjoy it. Also appreciate those who have subscribed. Thank you very much. And today we talk about Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Kind of my title's confused a little bit there because what I want to say, really, the reason I've been watching this movies, revisiting them, is because, at least in my neck of the woods, I don't know if this is countrywide, but the re-releasing Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. It's in June 15th or June 18th. I can't remember the exact date. So, hey, check it out when it comes out. So I figured I might as well watch the first two Indiana Jones. Oh, poor me having to rewatch these great movies. Just so, I've watched these a lot. It's part of the reason I haven't really done a review. I try to watch, when I do a review, it's usually on movies I haven't seen in a very long time. So it feels like I'm watching them for the first time. So I watch Indiana Jones probably once a year because I really love the movies. I haven't seen the newest one, Something Dial. I haven't seen that one yet. I might check it out sometime. Maybe I'll check it out in this run through of the Indiana Jones movies. But hey, enough about that stuff. Let's get into Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. This movie has so many great scenes, iconic scenes, whether it's him getting chased from the huge boulder at the beginning of the movie or the silhouette. You know how first time we see Marion, he walks through the doorway and we see his silhouette against the wall. And later on in the movie, hey, right there it is actually. Later on in the movie, he's out there watching his men dig as he's trying to get to the little model of the city so he can find out. No, that's where he's getting to the Ark, right? Whatever. Anyways, or that scene right there at the end of the movie there, or near the end of the movie. I think Indiana Jones might be the only character where you can actually recognize him just by his shadow, the iconic hat, and stuff like that. So, you get those great iconic scenes in this movie. Then I can't forget about the one where they get the guy with the crazy swords, and then Indiana Jones just takes his pistol out and shoots him right there on the spot, which was improvised because Harrison Ford, that is, was feeling a little ill that day. So, he just shot that. And I hear something about George Lucas or Spielberg. They kind of regretted putting that shot in because they didn't I think it might have been George Lucas. They didn't like that shot because they don't like it when the good guys fire first. That's why George Lucas changed the whole scene, the Star Wars, where Han Solo shoots first. He shoots Greedo first. He doesn't like it when the heroes are more aggressive than the villains, I guess. But hey, that is iconic. It's a great scene. The whole long fight, this would have been forgotten in the whole movie, right? But nobody forgets that one because it's funny and it's great. You just cut to the chase. He has more important things to do in that scene than fight this dude. He has to go and save Marion. He has to rescue her from her kidnappers. So it does make sense in the movie thing. So I don't know why George Lucas would throw a fit about that. So this movie has a great musical score. John Williams, top of this game. Right off Star Wars into Indiana Jones. John Williams might be one of the best composers ever in movie cinema history. Everything he does is just fantastic. So memorable, whatever movie he does for the music wise he composes. You just hear his music and you know exactly what movie it's from. Even somebody like me who's not really a music person. I love music, but I'm kind of deaf tone. So this movie also, right at the beginning, like I said, it really grabs the audience, grabs their attention, and it doesn't let go. You're just focus on what's going on that screen, laser focus, everything on there. There's never really a dull moment where it's oh, this is getting kind of boring. There's none of that stuff in this movie. Of even when there's just scenes when people are just talking, you so entranced on what's going on, what they're saying, how Indiana Jones is following the trails of where this ark is. You got great villains in here. You got the guy with the beady glasses. You got the one dude that's always taking credit for Indiana Jones's work. Indiana Jones finds the artifact. This guy's going in there, robbing him blind, tricking tribes into helping him steal whatever Indiana Jones finds. So you got great villains, and they're smart too. These villains are not dumb in this movie. They're not idiots. They're just as smart as Indiana Jones, but well, I should say just as smart. There's just a tad less smart than Indiana Jones, and that's what makes them great characters, great villains, iconic villains. And then, of course, Harrison Ford just nails this part. He is Indiana Jones. If they ever do try to replace him like they do the James Bond actors, I don't know if they could pull it off. I don't know if they could work. You would have to go like sequels and do like future generations of Indiana Jones, which I guess from what I heard for the fifth movie, I got 5 movies now, that might be the direction they're going. It should be Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf would have been a good replacement as this kid going through these artifacts. And I guess I have to watch this next one to see if the girl can do anything good. Women of power. And talk about women power. Karen Allen, you always have these people saying, oh, there's no strong women back in the 80s or before 2000s. Karen Allen basically proves you wrong in this one. She is a strong woman. Sure, she plays the damsel express, whatever, damsel in distress, a little bit through the middle of the movie. But at the beginning, when we first see her, she handles the villains pretty good. In the end, she handles herself very well. Even though she does get captured, and she needs rescuing, she is very capable of holding her own, all right? But she is a strong woman. She's great. Somebody that small to be able to drink like that, I feel sorry for her liver, poor girl. But Karen Allen is definitely the best indie girl. Definitely not Kate Kipshaw in the Temple of Doom. Very annoying, always screaming. And the third one, the girl is the bad guy. But she kind of turns good there at the end, right? This is kind of like a fantasy movie, of course. At the beginning of the traps, you get the sunlight. If your hand hits the sunlight, it sets off a spring trap. Prehistoric laser beams are going on there in the beginning of the movie. To me, I think that's probably impossible traps. But hey, it's a movie. You can disband. You can use your imagination. Go with the universe that they're creating. It doesn't take it in so far impossible, really, where it takes you out of the universe that they're building. But I do like the idea of prehistoric laser beams. See here, just making sure I get everything. And of course, in every Indiana Jones movie, you have your creepy crawlers. In this movie, I'm not going to spoil the next ones because I'll be doing all these movies. So in this movie, the creeper crawlers are the snakes. Hey, and I'm right there with Indiana Jones. I hate snakes. I hate spiders. I can't believe he's not scared of spiders. But yeah, I can understand his feelings, especially if you got a bunch of cobras and pythons in a pit. I would be terrified myself. Kind of interesting how they did that. I guess I had a glass there in front of that cobra. And I guess if I didn't see it this time, but I have saw it in the past. If you catch it just right, you can kind of see the plexiglass they have in front of Harrison Ford and the snake. Far as the folklore of the Covenant, they kind of expand the truth of what the Covenant really is and how it's used. But, it's the movies, right? It's 1% truth, 99% fiction, normally. That's a lot of them. Anyway, so yes, this is definitely a must-see movie. Highly recommend. If you haven't seen this one, what are you doing? Try to find it as quickly as possible. The special effects still hold up today. They're still better than the Crystal Skull special effects, were complete garbage. It's kind of funny. I find it weird and kind of funny that the two guys, Spielberg and Lucas, who are known for great special effects, they go together for the Crystal Skull, and it looks like amateurish special effects. Maybe because they relied too much on the CGI and not like real special effects. I don't know what you would call them, but homey special effects. These limited special effects, whatever you call it. The word is not in my mind right now. But yes, so Raiders of the Lost Ark are fantastic. Go see the Last Crusade in the theaters. Instead of doing remakes at this point in Hollywood, just re-release the classics. If anyway, Star Wars Revenge of the Sith prove that people will go back to the movies to see these classics once again. We don't want remakes. Just re-release them and for a weekend or two, and we'll go back and see them. You don't need to ruin them with today's world vision stuff on how the movie should have been, because they're all poorly done, and they're not loved. They're just there for the money. Just re-release the classics. Just do that. We'll go and see them. Anyways, hope everybody has a great day. Bye.